Sorry for the delay, people, but you know, life happened.
Oh, it's lit out here.
But as I say, OD lit. Welcome to Car Talk.
No bitches ain't friendly.
I'm Bad Shrek. It's my nigga Rich Kid.
Rich Kid, Slack Kid.
So, man, you know, first of all, we're going to start the show off with a rest in peace to Mac Miller. My condolences. It's like June. AKA Rich Kid was saying. Oh, Mac Miller, man, that shit is really unfortunate. But I'm going to keep it real. I feel like, man, like, I have to give some of that blame to Ariana Grande. I'm sorry. And I know there's a lot of people that's going to disagree with me, but I got to throw some blame out there, man. Like,
and this is not just throwing blame. This is like a very calculated observation. Because, you know, we're on the internet. Like, if something's happening on the internet, that's something, we're all going to see it, including you guys that are watching. So it's funny that you brought that up when everything first happened, when I first read Mac Miller. First of all, Mac Miller 26. The fuck do I don't think that nigga died anytime soon, besides the fact that our generation is going quickly. But a week prior, I was doing homework on Mac Miller because of the whole breakup with Ariana Grande and how she's fucking with this guy Pete. No shade to Pete and what you do, but I think you like a corny guy on TV, like super lame. So I was wondering why she would leave Mac, who is a cool kid, like a super cool cat. Why would she leave him for Pete? Apparently he had a drug problem. But anyway, Shrek, keep going.
Because I just feel like, you know, speaking from experience, from like a drug war veteran, you know what I'm saying, on both sides of the war.
Winning.
You dig what I'm saying? Like, I definitely had some mental health issues and led to me having a drug problem. And like, when you love somebody, bro, and they got a drug problem, like the worst thing you can do is leave them. Like, because obviously, you know, somebody that's using drugs to the point that is hurting them,
and that
you
they
have a
even
mental
know.
problem. Yeah, it's something wrong up
but
here.
They can't help it.
Exactly. It's like almost like a sickness.
And research will prove this point now. We're not making
Now, at
shit
the same
up.
time, Ariana Grande got every right to not want to deal with it and to be like, I'm not a babysitter, because this is her quote from an interview when they asked her about Mac Miller. She's like, yo, she didn't want to be a babysitter, this and the third. And you got every right to do that, but would you feel like that about somebody you love? So I question her love for him in the first place.
A loyalty.
Yeah, like.
But then
so
love,
all that is in question to me, like.
What is love in this generation with millennials, like?
Because I know for a fact with me and my drug problem, if I didn't have people that cared about me, that wasn't willing to quit,
snap back.
Yeah, like, because at the end of the day, when you got a drug problem, you're not going to change it until you're ready. But having people in your corner that just won't quit on you,
and understanding who you're hurting,
your eyes are opening up a lot faster. You dig what I'm saying? It's unfortunate that, you know, he never really got to, you know, win the fight with his demons, but I really question Ariana Grande crazy. Like, I feel like she definitely played a part in it, whether she want to admit it or not.
Wasn't she engaged a week after?
Yes, bro. Like, she broke up. She broke up with him at Coachella the weekend after Coachella, and like a week later, she's engaged to the kid. So obviously you've been cheating on him. Yeah, you wasn't a rider. You
and sometimes, believe it or not,
and that's when he had that big car accident. That was all in the same
G-Wagon.
breath.
He
that
drove
was
the G-Wagon
in the same breath of air.
He was going through it.
So it's like,
but that's the thing with this millennium generation, millennials. Like, we escape through drugs, and so him getting extra high is a clear sign of what he was dealing with. And if we all know, and if you've watched any documentary about anybody famous, from the Michael Jacksons to the, you name it, fame is overwhelming. So to have the fame and then to have relationship issues.
Yo, bro, I was just trying to explain this shit to somebody. I was trying to explain this shit to my man Jay. Shout out my man Jay. And he's like, oh, any nigga that do that over a bitch, you're weak.
Nah,
I'm like, first of all, he was like, oh, that's like me hurting myself over my girl. I'm like, yo, bro, one, you're not famous, right?
The girl is
you don't have the same type of pressure that Mac Miller or any celebrity have.
To be perfect.
Yeah, you don't even you can't even comprehend that because your mentality is still in the hood.
Yeah.
So you'll never even understand that. You've never been in a high profile relationship. Ever. You can't even relate. So how can you pass judgment? I don't understand how people could so easily pass judgment on things they never experienced.
And don't understand.
It baffles the fuck out of me. Like, how do you do that, bro? Like, you don't even understand what's going on.
We're in a time where when you're at the top,
you
have all the girls. You have all girls are riding and dying as long as it's lit. You know what I mean? But as soon as you hit number 2, people start going crazy. For example, NICKI being so upset for being number 2. She's literally winning. She's number 2 on the Billboard in the world. It's not enough. That's not her deep down. That's the pressure that people put on you when you're in a certain situation, when you're in a certain stage of your life. You know, when you have a certain influence. And so, what I was saying earlier is that we're in a generation where millennials, every girl want to be with the hottest guy when he's number 1. You know, top 5. Soon as you drop, it's like, oh, you're this, you're that. I bet you Mac was the same guy he was when she met him. I bet he was getting high. How he get high? Like, everybody is eating Xanax. Literally, like, sometimes the conversation is ridiculous. Percocets. And fuck using these anxiety and pain medications to cope through the little things. They're doing it by the boxes. You can't eat a couple bars of Xans in a day and be yourself. But the pressure is so immense, and there's no positive conversation being had. Is that's where everybody is ended up at. I'm not saying that's what I'm doing, but I'm just saying, opening my eyes and just listening to people around me, everybody's suffering so much pressure from being famous, is that they don't know what to do. Who do you talk to when you're a couple millions in? The conversation you're having.
And then the shit that pissed me off, I'm hearing people say, like, people saying he killed himself. One, he didn't kill himself. Nobody, for the most part, people don't OD on purpose. It's an accident. You dig? Like, I almost OD twice. I didn't do it on purpose. You dig what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't my plan.
You understand your limit.
Yeah, like, but nowadays, with everything being laced with fentanyl, you can take that half a pill and die.
Because it's juiced up.
Exactly, because it only takes a crumb of fentanyl to get you. So what if that pill you took, the crumb was in that size? You dead. That's not even somebody even so much having a drug problem. You could die experimenting right now.
Bro, Drizzy got on the flight, he popped a Xan, bro. That's one of the biggest songs in the town right now.
And he don't have a drug problem.
And when it gets to that part where he took a half a Xan and had him out like a light, that's your favorite part too. Like a light. Like a light. He slept through the flight. So you feel me? It could have been a bar. But let's not get it twisted. Some people do go overboard with things. But the whole conversation that we're having with Mac Miller, God rest your soul, is that we feel like Ariana Grande, his ex-girlfriend, had so much to do with his passing because she didn't seem supportive in the public eye. And even if she was, to move on that quick right after a relationship is always a red flag. You know what I mean? So girls and young people, stop getting into these relationships where people don't want you for who you are but your accolades. We're all never going to be perfect. So get it together, man. Do what you do. Stop worrying about all this, that, and the third. That shit really will lead you to your death. Where I'm from, people die of broken heart, believe it or not.
It's like, and I can't, you know, and we'll be wrong to sit here and totally blame everything on Ariana Grande because, you know, he's a man. He make his own decisions. You dig?
We're blaming drugs, but she played a part.
She definitely got blood on her hands.
And I'm saying she played a part because how quick do you hop in before getting into a new relationship, she was engaged within a week.
And then at the end of the day, this is not, and regular people commenting about relationships, how the fuck do you even understand that when you gotta see the chick you love on TV with this guy?
Every day.
All over the internet with this guy. Every time you pick up your phone, is her and this guy. Everybody's atting you.
And
you know
I know that
ads?
shorty is petty. Because you seen the whole thing with Travis and Nicki.
Mm-hmm.
You see her hop on Nicki Minaj bandwagon when it wasn't really her place. She could have been her best friend, and all she could have did with her platform was to promote Nicki's new album instead of having something to say about what Travis, Kylie, and that whole camp was doing. So that says a lot about her character. Like, she's an instigator.
And we're gonna talk about Nicki in a second too. Because she's fucking ridiculous. She's devaluing herself right now. Super. With that donation of $25,000, now you're just doing anything to be in the headlines. You look like a jackass, Nicki. And you from New York. I want you to win, and you're winning. But you're gonna make yourself lose, baby. You need to chill out. Just stick to the music. Stop talking about Kylie and Travis, like, and the baby. Like, you sound and look
Especially
fucking stupid.
Picking on somebody smaller than you. You've been in the game, and he's not fighting back. You're a bully. This is like Travis's biggest hurrah. You really not letting
Yeah, you like,
and that's my homie. So I'm not just speaking from just a fan perspective. Like, I'm analyzing the situation. Like, I see the kids work. You know what I mean? And these kids put in mad work. So for them to put in that much work and for you to just devalue and discredit them like that, it makes you look like a jackass. But anyway, we've given you mad conversation about Nicki on 2 shows. So we're moving on swiftly, like how we do in this car. So tell me about Obama. You told me about Obama earlier.
Oh man, Obama and Trump.
To get into,
Jesus Christ. So Obama gets on, I don't know what media outlet, I just seen it on a blog, but
you just said that.
He basically was saying,
shout out Obama.
What was so hard? Why was it so hard for Trump to say Nazis are bad? It's because that's his demographic.
Yeah, that's the people he curated his whole campaign.
Yeah, that's who he's speaking to.
For.
His whole divisive campaign was to go to the people that's already trying to divide things and use them for the win.
Even though they're ignorant, because if you know anything, you know that Trump's campaign and Trump's whole MO is not to help the poor, but the rich. It's for the rich to pay less taxes.
Bro,
for the
all
poor
he
to
did,
pay all the taxes.
He did, this is, now, let's not get this confused. I'm not on no Kanye shit. I don't look up to him. I don't value anything he did, but what he did was smart.
But it's smart if you're like an artist,
but look what he
bro.
did. Look what he did, though. Look. He did the same thing that Democratic politicians been doing to black people for years.
But they didn't have a lot of advantages that Trump had.
No, but this is
with
what I'm
the
saying.
Russians and the technology.
But not even, forget that right now.
It's
This is
so
what I'm saying.
relevant.
But
That's
hold on.
why he got there.
But I'm not even, that's not what I'm
What
saying,
are you saying?
Because at the same time, I could give you information all day. If you don't
talking
take
about targeting?
No. I'm just saying. Period. I could give you information. Yo, what are you doing? Where is he going? Like, it's one lane. Fucking dickhead. I could give you information all day, right? You still got to do the right thing with it. Copy? You agree with me?
I do what I please with the information. Yes.
So if I could give you all the information you need, you can still drop the ball. So look, this is what I'm saying. He just took the same game plan that the Democrats been doing to poor black people, promising them wild shit, and did it to poor white people. It was kind of genius. Now, I'm not saying it was right. None of that type of shit. I don't like Trump, but it was smart what he did. It was still smart.
It might seem smart, but I'm saying the fact is he had a one-up that the Democrats have never had. Even if politics is to target the weak, blah, 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 like you just said, great. But at the same time, the Democrats never had Russians or have technology gurus using different algorithms that haven't existed yet. You know what I mean? Besides knowing the democratic people, besides knowing the people to target, he knew exactly who was tweeting what, through their friends, what their interests were. He knew so much private information that as civilians or as citizens, we've never given up that information.
Nah, he pimped the game.
You know what I mean? To the point where Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, they all had to get in front of, heads of the state to explain to them how Trump was able to have this disadvantage or this advantage over his candidates. So that fucks it all up for his genius, because it's one thing giving me broad information, it's one thing saying, oh, these guys that live in this building might have a brick, let's go rob them, versus this guy that live in this building on this floor, leaves his house every day at this time, leaves with the stuff every day at this time. Now you're making the mission way easier.
That's a fact.
So that's what he did. I don't even know how else to explain it.
But to choose that mission.
But he had money. He had money. He had I'm pretty sure he had way more money to spend on his campaign, or got way more donations for his campaign, probably than history of anybody that ran for office. Because then you're able to promise people things that they probably didn't know they discussed with you for you to have that knowledge.
He used a celebrity too. He used the fact. You know how he came at the poor white people? He came at them, I'm rich. I'm for you, for the poor white man. I did it, let me show you. And that's what he sold them on. Like, he did basically the same thing the politicians do to black people.
Ignorance really must be bliss, because you're gonna sit there and believe that a nigga that was given a small loan of $1 million decades ago is really for you or understand you. One thing I'm learning as I'm getting older is that certain people in certain demographic, whether it's a tax bracket or what, they don't understand most of the people beneath them, what they go through. Like they get into a matrix. And so those people can never speak for us. They don't understand what you're going through anymore, even if they experienced it at a time. Things change, struggles change. And so if you really fall for it, you're stupid, because only the rich gets their tax cut, not the poor.
But that's what he went for, the uneducated, poor white dude.
But
and why I think it's like for Trump is almost obvious, and why I feel like why he really won going for that demographic, because they never been spoken for before. That was the first time somebody targeted the poor white man.
At the end of the day, whatever he did, how great it seems,
it wasn't great.
Oh, not even that is great, but it was like a finesse. It was a great finesse. Super finesse. I'm never gonna give him that credit. You know why? Because he can't do it again. You know why he can't do it again? Because he cheated.
I think he might could.
But only way he can do that again is if they legalize what he did. And even though he didn't go to prison for it, and people around him didn't go to prison, you can do your research on Vice. Only just go to Vice. You can get the breakdown of how social media, Facebook to be exact, helped him. And you know your grandmother's on Facebook, your great-grandmother is on Facebook. Most of these people don't know how none of the privacy settings works on Facebook. So he took advantage of people
ignorance
all the way when they least expected. So to be able to do that again, he will have to have that technology, which is not allowed right now. Not only is it not allowed, we've made it clear it's not allowed, and we know you used it. So what are you gonna do next? And the only reason you won because they spend millions of dollars to create this technology.
Right. Let me tell you what I think about the next elections. Right. So the result of what he did, he like poured a whole bucket of hate into America
That already existed.
Exactly.
He opened it up.
He opened the bucket and poured it, right? So now, even if you go on any blog that's reporting all the racist acts that white people were doing, how they coming out being so blatantly, openly racist, is all a direct result of Trump, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now we got all this hate and all this division going on. He don't even need that shit anymore.
But by the time he's done, people will realize that he lied to us, and because
the poor white man.
And that's
exactly that's gonna hinder him.
That's the part I'm saying.
But I feel like those same poor white people are still racist, right? And I think that this hate that that racist white people have for black people, this is 500 years of hate. This is hate that been passed down generation and generation and generation from the slave shit. You dig what I'm saying? So I think the hate in America, hopefully I am wrong, but I think the hate in America is so strong that even the people that he lied to, just off of hate, will vote for him again.
By the time he's done, he's gonna fuck up so much that people are gonna be more woke than asleep. And even the racists,
I'm hoping so, bro.
And even the racists will realize, like, listen, we're not getting shit fighting these people. Like, these people are the ones fighting for us, working for us. We might need them more than we think. And once that point is proven, they won't know where to go. Use Nike and Colin Kaepernick, for example. For years, Kaepernick was kneeling down, started losing contracts and deals with the NFL. He was barred. He couldn't get into any team.
Yeah, he's suing them right now.
Then who picks him up? Fucking Nike out of everything.
I mean, so
I'm from Africa.
He was already,
before I knew what Nike was.
Hold up. So he been with Nike, but he was on the
but
bench.
Nike never ever nobody that as big as no corporation as big as Nike that can go against the NFL and the NBA. Nobody like that spoke on his behalf. For 2 years he sat down. He kneeled. And right now, they're on there. So it doesn't matter. The negative shit is just really, it's just like, what do they do when they want the bugs to come out? They spray some shit and the bugs come out, and we find out where the bugs is at. Once we know where the bugs are, we spray the bugs. So we're gonna know where all you motherfucking racists are. We're gonna know what to do with you motherfuckers. We're gonna, like, the only thing Kanye's saying lately that's right, we'll lead with love on y'all niggas, so y'all can really see that all that hate is not gonna take you nowhere. You hate black people for no reason. All these young teens in college, they blacked out, you feel me? So parents, you racist motherfuckers, you guys are just gonna wake up very soon. Promise me. Crisis Vision said that shit. What is today? September 6, 18. We'll be back, my nigga. You're not winning the 7th. It's the 7th. I'm late.
Word, man. The hate in America is so strong and deep-rooted hate. This shit is almost hereditary.
We're
with racist people, man.
And we're not gonna let racism win, bro. Look at me, for example. Look how we live in life right now. Bad or good, like, still so many blessings, and we've came such a long way. Like, we eat at 5-star restaurants. We shop at high-end stores. Not always do we experience racism, but that's to say we're moving on in life. But at some point we were in chains. We're not anymore. And by the time this generation is done, all the races that's left, they're either going to go back into hiding or they're really going to have to switch up how things are going. Like, blonde girls love black guys.
I don't think America is ever going to be like not racist.
It's going to take time, maybe after us, but it's going to happen. Literally, because you can tell by history. Once we realize that prison is another system of slavery. Once we realize being on probation, parole, these are all systems of racism, that's when we're gonna start supporting black businesses. That's when we're gonna start supporting each other. The more we understand, and I feel like people don't know. People don't really know what's happening. Like, all this shit with the algorithms, all this shit with technology, people might be on the internet, but they don't even know. Why do you think most white people don't post anything on the internet? Like, It's way more to learn. We didn't come here to break down conspiracies. But
Word.
You get where we going at.
Let's get back into the music, man. So we gotta talk about because Mac Miller and Eminem. Not Mac Miller and Eminem. Machine MGK Eminem.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna front MGK. He said, "Bring that ass here" on that song. He definitely got at M. Do I think M should respond? No. Because you know what that's almost like? That's like, if I have a fight, now me, I'm like 6'2", 230, right? If I have a fight with somebody that's 5 foot, 100 pounds, and I kick his ass, I don't look good. Yeah. And if I fight you, I beat your ass, I look bad. If you kick my ass, I look bad. So you don't win regardless. So Eminem, sit this one out, my G.
But that's always been M's thing. He always come at what's going on in the culture, and he shit on anybody and everybody. So this is nothing new with what M is doing. But like one of the homies discussed on a podcast.
You heard his album? M album?
I heard a couple songs.
It's a good album.
It's M. He didn't give us something bad.
Nah, he's always gonna give you bars.
Yeah. But it's like,
do I really care?
That's like he's still trying to prove himself. He tried to almost prove himself.
Yeah, it's
when
like
he didn't need to.
He seemed
like you are a great already.
He be seeming like a bitter rich dude a lot of the times, just like MGK said. And it gets like boring and like it gets heavy on you. Like,
because fame is hard. Once they grab that fame, it's like it's really a drug. Like he still wants to be talked about in the tabloid all the time. You feel me? That's what it becomes like. Because when you're not being talked about, when you're not relevant in the moment, I think it really does something to an artist, especially once that we're once on top. I think it does something to their egos, and so that's what I think this album was more about. So I can go back and listen to like Marshall Mathers and shit, a lot of whole bunch of M's, him and Dido, but you don't need to prove yourself. You can continue making good music, or you can school all these young rappers that you think they're not up to par. Like I always say on the show, hip hop is not a teaching community, and we need to start teaching more. Like it would be way better MCs if Eminem, Dr. Dre, the Quincy Jones, the Jermaine Dupri's, if they taught more. Not that they haven't, but it was a business, so everybody was going for artists that they can eat off eventually, or that's already pre-cooked like labels are doing nowadays. Nobody's building an artist.
Yeah, there's no
more nurturing.
Nah, it used to be like, bro, you could get a deal that's just a developmental deal.
They just nurture you.
Yeah,
by
they
the
don't
time
do
you're
that
popping,
anymore.
you know what's happening.
You know how many great artists we got that was in developmental deals that had a chance to grow,
and they didn't have anybody to help them.
Exactly.
Nurture.
So at this point, the game is just like you're saying, taking cooked meals. So we probably the greatest artists that we were supposed to get, we probably never gonna get them because there's nobody to nurture them. Nobody that's gonna see something in somebody. They're not even looking at them in that way anymore. They just want the meal already done. So
that's gotta change with record labels. Let's talk about that.
Man, I don't even. Record labels is just like they like the scum of the earth, bro. Like, so it's like
11/11. We making a wish. Like all y'all niggas, you fucking record labels, you 360 deal giving ass labels. You need to start respecting the artists. And I'm ready to go into the Spotify's and the SoundClouds. You got artists that got million streams on SoundCloud and all over platforms that are getting chump change. Like people are putting in work for their art. You know what I mean? And these record labels just want somebody that's already getting millions of views, but they lack the education and music. They lack the teaching. They lack that knowledge. So somebody sizzles for a year and they're gone, for a summer and they're gone. Meanwhile, a record label could pick them up, invest in them for a 10-year run. It's like almost like a drug deal now. They looking for the product that's moving the quickest. That's watering down the whole business.
Mm-hmm.
So if you record labels can care about something else besides money, that would really appreciate. The artist would